In this tutorial, I'll show how this battle scene was created using the CrowdSim 3D add-on. To start, we need to configure our character. In the outliner, you can see that we have several vertex groups, different types of hair or weapons. In the node tree, you can configure these vertex groups into mesh groups. When populating agents with characters, these mesh groups will be used to create variations in the crowd. Next, we can configure the material variables. In this case, I can vary the dirt color. We can also add model variables. These are properties of your character that can be used in the behavior logic. You can also set the velocity and the angular velocity on your animation. You can also add a tag. This tag can be used in the behavior logic. After configuring the characters, I created a very basic simulation of my battle. For this shot, I created another scene with two factories. In the node tree, you can see the populate nodes where I use the pre-configured mesh groups to create variety. Next, we have the behavior tree. I also have a state and a target property. First, I set my characters in an idle pose. On frame 96, I want the agents in the walk collection to start walking. I do this by giving the agents in the walk collection a state, walk. Based on this state, they will start walking. Here you can see the logic to schedule the correct walk animations for the Vikings and the British soldiers. At frame 400, the walking agents should start running. Again, I do this by setting a state. Based on this state, the correct animations are scheduled. Here you can see the logic to schedule the run animations for the Vikings and the British soldiers. At frame 500, the soldiers carrying a gun will come to a full stop, aim at the Vikings, and eventually shoot at a target Viking. If the Viking is not defending, that is, if the animation that the target is playing does not have the animation tag defend, then the strength of the targeted Viking is reduced with the amount of damage. At frame 225, the soldiers in the back will start walking. I use the state property to set this state. Here you can see the logic to schedule the march animations. At frame 425, the marching soldiers will come to a full stop. At frame 700, the Vikings in the back will lock on a target formation. At frame 525, they will start running. At frame 525, The soldiers and the Vikings will lock onto a target and start to run to the target. Here you can see the logic for the run animations. When agents are in 1.2 meter from their target, the agents are in battle, again using the states. Here you can see the logic to schedule the appropriate battle animations. Based on the action tags of the animations, you can schedule the appropriate animations. So if the soldier is attacking, the Viking will defend, meaning that the defend animation is scheduled. When an attack animation is played and the target is not defending, then the strength is reduced with the amount of damage. Now if the strength is below 1, then the agent dies. Here you can see the logic to schedule the death animations. The agent also becomes inactive, so it's not taken into account when selecting a target. When an agent has killed its target, the agent will select a new target nearby. Here you can see the logic for retargeting. I hope you got an impression of how you can create a battle scene in Blender using the CrowdSim 3D add-on.